sure umeingiza kiatu yote ndio usiingize any pathogens inside the greenhouse.
Do you like flowers? I know I do, but the kind that translates into fruits. Welcome to our farm in Karen, where we are fruiting and flowering. My name is Zola Madaga.
Kuguza crops na discourage kabisa, cause unaweza shika hapa saizi ukwe ilikuwa na ugonjwa probably powdery, cause hiyo ndio huwa ina spread kwa urahisi, then you transmit to the other end, utakuwa umeongeza hiyo the rate. We planted 1,000 crops inside this greenhouse na hiyo spacing iko enough. Ukiona imefinyana hivi ni because ziko leafy. The soil we are going to use sasa. So today we are in Karen, continuing our capsicum farming series. As you can see, we are at fruiting and flowering stage. We top dressed recently, about 3 weeks ago, with Yara Winner. It's an NPK fertilizer that has other compound fertilizers. The fruit sizes, they are quite large, and we are giving it almost 3 to 4 weeks so that they'll be ripe. They'll be ripe enough for harvesting. We are currently at 3 months. Actually, we are starting at the 3rd month. The crops are doing well so far. We are flowering okay. We are fruiting okay. Due to good agricultural practices and good agronomic support, there's no case of flowers falling. The variety that is in this greenhouse is the Cory and Minerva. We have planted Cory one side and Minerva one side. Those are red and yellow capsicums. The crops tend to grow a bit taller because it's an hybrid variety. So what we normally do, we tie the crops with strings from the neck of the plant and also on the side of the plant, as you can see. So this will help the crop to have sufficient support. As aluminum greenhouses, when we install our greenhouses, we usually install crop support, and the farmer places the wire. We tend to encourage the farmers to use less chemicals, and by that we usually do integrated pest management systems. You try as much as possible to plant some herbs inside the greenhouse or outside the greenhouse in order to repel the pests, or in this case by use of stickers. As you can see, this is a sticker, river trap. It's from Copart Biological Systems, but you can get it from elsewhere. What this sticker does, some pests like thrips, whiteflies, they are usually attracted to bright colors. Especially for thrips, they are usually attracted to flowers. So instead of the thrips coming to the flowers, they go directly to the trap. So by that, these traps will enable you to monitor the pest infestation inside the greenhouse, and also it will enable you to control the pest population inside the greenhouse. By the end of the day, you'll be able to control, let's say, 50 or 60% of the pests inside the greenhouse. But for this case, this greenhouse, the farmer has been very cautious. He usually closes his door. And as aluminum, as we had constructed the greenhouse, there's very minimal space for pests to enter. Of course, you can't really avoid it, but by the end of the day, you have to work as much as possible to reduce the pests inside the greenhouse. When we are at flowering and fruiting stage, we usually advise our farmers to usually apply calcium fertilizers, either calcium fertilizers, fertilizers that has boron in it, fertilizers that has magnesium in it, so as to encourage the fruit formation, to encourage the flowers to make the flowers not to fall. Also, in our spray programs that we provide to our farmers, we incorporate biostimulants, in short biological solutions to the farmer. Case example, we usually spray once in every week. We incorporate seaweed, an extract from seaweed like Africa Optimizer, whichever you choose. We incorporate it to the spray program, of which it will help to stimulate the growth. This plant Give it another month or two, it will have reached almost 2 meters, not really, 1.5 meters high. Usually it can go up to 2 meters high, depending on how you feed it. The colored capsicum, I'd say, in my own opinion, has higher value than the green capsicum. Especially when it's inside a greenhouse, the production tends to be higher. One of the main reasons why the production is high is usually the plants don't get exhausted quite easily. You'll continue to harvest this crop. You'll harvest every week by week by week. Up to, in some cases, we have had farmers who have harvested up to 6 months. So it's very much possible. But that will depend on how you take care of your crops. That will depend on how you feed your crops, how well you handle your crops. Normally, you usually discourage people from entering the greenhouse. The irrigation system over here is completely automatic. The irrigation system being automatic, it has enabled us, the farmer and us, to be able to control the irrigation regime quite easily, and it has reduced the stress level for the farmers. It irrigates usually in the morning, the normal irrigation. Then after the first irrigation, the sensors do take over. We have been using the sensors for quite a long time, since day one. So far so good, no major challenges experienced. It is important to note that during this stage, there are some diseases that are quite prone. Diseases like powdery mildew. Yeah, because at this stage, it's quite easy to get powdery mildew. One might get it from outside the outside environment and bring it inside the greenhouse, of which we'll really encourage that you allow, maybe either you disinfect when you are entering the greenhouse, or you have specific clothing when entering the greenhouse so that you don't enter with the pathogens. Also for pests, yeah, there are some pests like thrips that like flowers, which much later end up being vectors to plants, to diseases. So we'll really encourage you to please do eliminate those pests using the right way, by the way, and try as much as possible to keep your greenhouse disease free. Try as much as possible to keep your greenhouse pests free. Yeah. As a farmer, you should ensure that you do your weeding regularly. For a greenhouse farmer, let's say once a week or twice a week, depending on how the quantity of weeds inside your greenhouse. Weed compete for nutrients with your crop. Yeah. So by the end of the day, if you have too many weeds inside your greenhouse, it will only be to your disadvantage. Yeah. Because it will compete for resources, it will compete for water, it will compete for, it will host crop pathogens, and it will also host crop pests.